Hey YouTube, I'm Jess. Welcome to a new video. This is a Valentine's Day makeup tutorial. I created this look for you guys today. I got my nails done a couple of days ago and they're this beautiful sheer sparkly baby pink, and it inspired me to film this look. We're going for soft, glowy, natural skin with this beautiful pink shimmery eye. And the girl who does my brows, when she saw my nails, said that they looked like lip gloss, which I thought was so true. So we did just a nice glossy lip to pair with everything as well. Let's jump right into the video. So I've already prepped my skin with skincare. The most important part about getting a glowy, fresh look to your makeup, to your foundation, is by prepping the skin properly. So I did an exfoliation and a cleanse in the shower this morning, and then I went in with a hydrating serum as well as my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. And I'm gonna actually start with my eye makeup today because I'm planning to use a bit of a brighter color on my eyes. I just want to avoid having to deal with cleaning up any fallout underneath and having that stick to any of my foundation or my concealer. So this way, if there is any fallout, it's much easier to clean up. I'm gonna start my makeup with an eyeshadow primer. I am a person who prefers to use eyeshadow primers over concealers. Concealers do half the job, which is evening out the skin tone on the eyelid, but they don't help with longevity, and they also can cause creasing of your eye makeup. So I always recommend going in with an eyeshadow primer. My favorite one is the one from Laura Mercier. This is the Eye Basics in the color Linen. I also like the color Flax. I think this was the only one they had in stock when I was shopping for them. So the idea is for this look to be really simple. So I'm really just gonna use two different eyeshadows today, and I'm gonna dip into my Anastasia AMREZY palette. You can't buy this palette anymore, but it has exactly the pinks that I'm looking for. We have Resi here, and this is Barb on the top here, this really pretty glittery shade. And my nails are the inspo for the look, so you can kind of see where I'm going with this. But before I go in with both of those, I do want to just create a little bit of definition in my crease and give them something to blend out into. So I'm just gonna take some bronzer and run that up above my crease from the outer corner and bring it all the way into the inner corner here. And then on this outside edge, I kind of flick it out and up so that I get that nice lifted look with my shadows. I feel like the camera needs to be angled down as well. Usually Will is here to help me with my camera setup, but he's not here right now, so forgive me. Let me try to fix it. I feel like that's better. I hardly ever film makeup tutorials anymore. I do so many get ready with me style videos where we're just kind of hanging out and chatting. So I am gonna try and give some more tips and just describe a bit more what I'm doing in this video. I know makeup tutorials aren't really that interesting on YouTube anymore, but for the people who are into it and looking for tips and tricks for their makeup, and just for me, myself, because I actually really like teaching, I figured I would do this video in this style today. Let me know if you guys like it or not, or if you prefer me just like sitting and chatting about my life rather than chatting about what I'm actually doing with my makeup, or a bit of both. Okay, so this is gonna be the easiest eyeshadow look ever. So I'm using this flat paddle type brush. It's really dense, and I'm gonna dip it into this beautiful hot pink shade right here called Resi. And I'm gonna go all over my eye with this, all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner. This is my favorite palette of all time, I think. I'm so sad that you can't get it anymore. And then once I have that color pressed into the lid, I'm gonna go back in with the same blender brush that I was using before to put down the bronzer. And I'm not putting any additional product on it, but there is still a little bit of bronzer on the brush. And that's just gonna help me blend that pink shade into the bronzer shade that we already have down. So I do my blending in a lot of windscreen wiper motions, so back and forth, and then little circular motions really help as well. I'm gonna take the same brush that I was using before. It doesn't have to be the same brush, but I like it because it's flat and fluffy, so it picks up a lot of color. And I'm gonna dip into this glittery pink shade here called Barb. And I'm gonna go right over top of Resi and just pat that in. So I'm patting just because of the type of shadow that it is. We don't want glitter kind of going all over the place, although it totally is. This is just gonna help minimize that. And then I'm gonna take that blender brush again and just really lightly go over the edges. You wanna be really gentle if you're blending with super glittery shadows, because otherwise you'll just knock all of the glitter off of the lid. And that's literally all I want to do for eyeshadow today. I just want it to be simple, easy, fresh, but also fun and Valentine's Day themed. Do we get it? Do we get it? Okay. So I really want this look to be very lifted on the outer corner. So I'm going to take a Q-tip and some micellar water. I prefer micellar water over makeup remover just because makeup remover is often full of oil, and oil can kind of leak into parts of your look that you don't want it to leak into. Micellar water, I find you can get a little bit of a crisper line. So I'm gonna kind of make sure I'm getting the angle that I want, and then just use that to pull up and kind of erase any of the shadow underneath and give that nice lifted look. Make sure we're matching on this side. And then I want to do a winged liner as well because I'm a winged liner gal, and if I'm doing a look that I want to look nice, I'm throwing a winged liner on it 97% of the time. So over here, I'm just following that line that I just created with the Q-tip and the micellar water. This is the Fly Liner from Fenty Beauty in the color In Big Truffle. It is a warm brown. I never use liquid liner, but recently I mentioned in a video that I had this like urge to incorporate it into my routine and like my skill base basically. And that I wanted to try a brown one, and Will was listening to me film, or heard me say that as I was filming, and he got it for me for Christmas, which was so cute. So I'm still practicing with the liquid liner, but it's getting easier and easier every time I use it. These aren't as sharp as I would like them to be, so I'm gonna go back in with my Q-tip and my micellar water and just run that along there as well, just to sharpen it up a bit. And I will sharpen it up even more when I do my concealer. I'm gonna throw on a quick coat of mascara. It doesn't need to be anything special because I am gonna put lashes on top. I just wanna make the lashes that are growing out of my face a little bit darker so that they make the falsies look fuller. And I'm gonna clean up all of the fallout underneath my eyes with micellar water on a cotton pad. Next, I'm gonna go in with a color corrector under my eyes. My dark circles have been plaguing me more than usual lately, so I'm finding this step really important. I'm using the Becca under eye color corrector. Just using a little bit of this because I want my makeup to be light and I don't want this area to feel too heavy. When I went out for my birthday last weekend, this area of my face just felt super heavy. I think I was just layering up too much product, so I'm keeping this really thin and light. Normally I would go in with concealer, set that concealer, and then finish my under eye shadows. However, I want to try something different today. This is something that lots of pro MUAs do that I've never really gotten into. I'm just gonna take this color right here, Sempsa. It's like a matte kind of purpley pink shade on a pencil brush and run that right along my lower lash line here. So yeah, last week I was crying. I had like a full face of makeup on and I wasn't wearing waterproof mascara or anything. And so I had a lot of transfer underneath my eyes. So I had to actually go in with some makeup remover and kind of wipe that away and then add concealer back on top because I needed to like go out in public. And I found that I actually really liked the look of the eyeshadow being on the lower lash line first and then going in with the concealer afterwards. And it's something, like I said, that lots of pro makeup artists actually do. And this way you're using less concealer under your eyes as well. So if you have more mature skin, if you have lots of fine lines under your eyes, if you go in this way first and just use powder in this part of your eye and don't bring your concealer right up there like I normally would do, that's gonna avoid any additional creasing as well. So I'm gonna go ahead here and just softly blend that out. And now I'm gonna go in with my concealer. So for concealer today, I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. I have mine in shade number 5. This is a nice kind of medium coverage concealer. It's really lightweight. It does a great job of getting rid of redness in the skin, and it just looks very natural and hydrating, which is the vibe that I'm going for. I actually probably could have done my foundation first and then got in with my concealer, but it's already on here, so let's just keep going. I'm gonna blend that out with my beauty blender and go right up to that color that I put down and just kind of, yeah, clean it up a bit, but obviously avoid going over top of it too much. And then I'm gonna actually take a concealer brush just to go along the edge here and make sure that this is really nice and clean. I love a nude in the waterline and I feel like it will complement this look so well. So I have my little eye cheat from Charlotte Tilbury here and I'm gonna add that to the waterline. Okay, and then let's move to the complexion and we'll finish up the eyes a little bit later. So I'm gonna do some foundation. I'm gonna use the Merit complexion sticks. So I have the shades Cream and Camel. I'm kind of in between, so I've been mixing them recently. And I'm gonna use a really small amount of this, you guys. I'm really going for a natural skin look. So I'm just really lightly gonna dot that all over. And then I'm gonna add a tiny bit of the darker color too, just to hopefully match me a bit better. And because this is a thicker foundation, it's more of a cream than a liquid, I am gonna blend it in with a brush rather than the sponge like I normally would with foundation. This is such a skin-like foundation. It does a great job at covering redness in the skin without being thick or heavy. I find it wears really beautifully throughout the day as well, and it gives the skin a really beautiful glow. I add extra glow by going in with my hydrating products underneath, and for me it's just the perfect amount. And then I do have a little bit of acne happening at the moment. It's not too bad, but it's there a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is take a more full coverage concealer. So this is the Born This Way Too Faced concealer, and I'm gonna just add a little bit of that to the areas where I just want to add that little bit of extra coverage. And this way I get the coverage that I want with the finish that I want. I don't have a full face of full coverage foundation just to cover up these small little blemishes. I can have nice, light, fresh makeup and coverage where I need it. Next, we're gonna set. So for me, I love to set with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder. This is going to help prevent the liquids in the parts of my face that move around a lot from creasing. So that's gonna be under my eyes here and my smile lines. And then you're also using a setting powder to prevent extra oil from coming through in areas where you don't want it. So although I do want my skin to look really fresh and hydrated and glowy, I don't want to look too oily. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of additional powder and add it through the center of my face. And that way we're matte in the areas where we want to be matte and glowy in the areas where we want to be glowy. So I'm gonna bronze. I mentioned in my last Get Ready With Me video that I've been feeling like I've been over bronzing lately, and I think it has to do with me just not paying attention as I'm bronzing and just kind of quickly going through the motions, and also the fact that I have kind of more medium tone bronzers at the moment. I don't have anything for my more fair winter toned skin. So I'm taking another Charlotte Tilbury product. This is the Airbrush Bronzer in shade number 2. And I'm gonna use this with a really light hand and dust it on the areas of my face that I want to be more bronzed and to add a little bit of definition as well. When you add foundation to your skin, you take out all of the color, which takes out all of the definition and just makes everything look really flat and wide. So adding bronzer is going to add that definition back into the skin. And depending on the color that you use, you can also have a little bit of a sort of sun-kissed glow to the skin, as well as if you've been out in the summer sun and not hiding from the winter snow for 4 months. I also take my bronzer underneath my jaw to just help sharpen that up a bit. And I'm gonna leave it there. I can always add more later. So off camera, I'm gonna fill in my brows and put on my false lashes. I have a how to apply false lashes video if you're interested and you wanna check that out. I think it's like 5 easy steps or something. So you can search that on my channel, but yeah, let me do that real quick. Okay, so I added false lashes. You can still see the glue is drying. Once the glue dries a little bit more, I'm gonna kind of reposition them. Added some mascara to my lower lashes and I filled in my brows. So the next step is a little bit of blush. I'm going for a really fresh faced look, so I want a really bright, fresh pop of color on the cheek. So in order to achieve that, I'm going to use a really beautiful cool tone pink blush from Charlotte Tilbury. This is called Love is the Drug. And I've been finding recently that the way that I used to apply my blush isn't really working for my face anymore. I'm noticing some changes in my face lately, and the blush on the apple of the cheek and brought back, just, I don't know, I'm not really liking the way that it looks. So I'm kind of gonna just mix these two colors together here, and I'm gonna keep the blush on just on top of my cheekbone. So I'm gonna start here and bring it down to about the corner of my eye to start. I want to keep it nice and high on my face so that my face is being lifted. I'm noticing the blush is just sticking a little bit because I didn't set this part of my face. So when you're putting a powder product on top of cream products that aren't set, you can get a little bit of sticking and like clinging to the wet parts of the cream product. So in that case, I just take like a dense duo fiber brush with no product on it and just use that to blend. It helps a lot. And then highlight, I really feel like doing like a really blingin' highlight. I haven't been doing that a lot recently, but I'm in the mood for it today. So when I'm feeling that, I always go for Becca Champagne Pop. I like to use an eyeshadow brush to apply my highlighter. I like it because it is, I feel like, the perfect density and perfect size. I've also been kind of readjusting my highlighter placement as well. I normally put it up here, but I've been finding recently that if I've been doing that, I've been kind of emphasizing some of the hollowness underneath my eyes. So I'm gonna keep this lower, kind of directly on my cheekbone, and try to avoid that entire eye socket area. And I just got my brows done, so I am going to add a little bit of this under my brows as well. Although apparently first I'm doing the inner corner of my eyes, and then I've got this nice clean area here. I'm gonna add a little bit there as well. Normally my brows are all overgrown in this area, so I don't put highlighter there because it will just emphasize that fact, but because it's nice and clean today. And last but not least, we have our lips. So do we even bother with a lipstick? I feel like no one's wearing lipstick anymore, including myself. I think Bitch Perfect from Charlotte Tilbury would go really nicely with this look, but I might actually just do lip liner and lip gloss. So for my lip liner, I'm gonna use Pink Venus from Charlotte Tilbury. It's a little bit of a peachier pink than the kind of other cool tone pinks that we have going on, but it's gonna work just fine. And then this is also a Charlotte Tilbury gloss. This is in the color Portobello Girl. And to finish everything off, let's set with some Urban Decay All Nighter. You want to use a ton of setting spray, you guys. Whenever I use setting spray on my clients, they always tell me like that's so much. Lots of times people tell me they just do like one spritz. No, you want to like drench your makeup in setting spray. Don't worry about ruining it. This is literally what it's made for. If you want it to do anything, if you want it to make your makeup last, if you want it to help absorb all of the powders into your skin, you want to use a good amount of it. And there we have it, you guys. Some easy, glowy, soft, natural Valentine's Day makeup inspired by my beautiful shimmery sheer pink nails. I hope you guys liked this video. Leave me a comment down below if you like the look, if you like the tutorial style or more of the get ready with me style. I'd love to hear from you guys. Has my necklace been backwards this whole video? Probably. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.